Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here. I am going to attempt to make a loaded belly band. Now, it's an idea I came up with this morning, so I haven't given it a trial run. We're just going to jump right in, and I'm going to bring you along for the adventure, and hopefully it turns into something really cool. So I am using the beautiful Winter Bounty from the Junk Journal Studio. That's the papers I'm using today. So let's just crack into this. I am later than filming because of a darling little Kelly girl. Yes, my cat. Most of you will be familiar with Kelly. She's made an appearance here and there on video. It's a cold, wet, grey day, and the only place she feels safe right now is in my arms, which means that, I'm pretty hampered when I've got a cat in my arms. And I'd put her down and it's like, I've got to get work done, Kelly. I've got to get work done. She'd go, she'd eat for a couple of minutes and she'd be straight back in my arms. And she just wouldn't take no for an answer. Like normally once or twice she'll do that and then she'll get the hint. No, today it just was like continual. Every time I managed to put her down on the floor, she would be back within minutes. So I've finally encouraged her to go to the cat bed. So hopefully she'll settle down there for the remainder of the day and be unbothered by her sister. Okay, so all I've done is I've cut a section of one of the pages and folded it into, thirds, not really thirds, but you know what I mean. And I've got this bit of coffee dyed paper here, which is just folded into I want to put it on that side. Folded into a journal page. I think let's put it on that side. And that's the base of our belly band. So really simple to start with, just a belly band. So you could use whatever you like to make that base. So I'm going to just now glue it together. And I'm envisaging that there's lots of ways you could vary this idea. But I'm going to start, and a bit down here I think, just start working and we'll see how we get. My first one that I'm doing today might be fairly simple on the scale of things. I don't know. Not having attempted this before, it was just an idea and it was like, this sounds like it could be really fun. Oops. Let's try and keep the glue on the paper. Okay, and my first thought is that we could leave something open on the back and have like a hidden pocket or something. But I just want to get fairly, not complicate it too much first up when I'm just feeling my way. So I think the paper goes up this way, but I'm actually going to put it this way. This is the edge of my page, so where it opens, and I typically would slide things in from this direction, not from the spine edge. So I want, I will have it up that way. I want this lip here, where that paper's folded under, to be on this side where I'm not sliding things in, so that when I slide something in, where's something I can use? Oh gosh, I can't find anything that's suitable. Here you go. Here's a book page coaster that I have. When you slide something in, it's not getting caught on that lip like that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so just a bit of thought to which way you fold your paper and which bit you put on top on the back. Okay, so that's going to be the base of our belly band. Right, I'm going to shift the journal page away for now. And we're going to now start creating the idea of a loaded belly band. So loaded means there's lots of stuff in it, which means you need lots of places to put things. So I want a pocket on the bottom. And I have chosen out a couple of pages here that I might want to play with. Perhaps we'll go stripes for the pocket on the bottom. Sorry, I'm just distracted by the fact that that is not even on the bottom. I probably didn't fold it straight, and therefore it's a little bit hanging over at the top as well. Okay, had to deal with it. Now, to increase the amount of space in this pocket, because if I glue it on the front, we're going to have a very narrow pocket, which is fine. Let me just measure it up for you. You would have noticed I didn't measure anything, it was just completely random, but I've ended up with a belly band about 2 3/4 inches, just to give you an idea. So instead of gluing it onto the front, I'm going to wrap it around so we've got a bit more space. The other way is you could add gussets, so fold in the ends and stick it on the top, and it will still have a bit more space. In fact, do I want to do that? Because if I wrap it around, I then don't want to, have the same issue with running into things on the back. Yeah, let's do gussets. See, I'm just working it out. So therefore, let's do the height first. I'm going to just flip it over here so I can mark on the back. And I want a bit of extra so I can fold down to reinforce the top. So let's go about there. So I feel like I'm rushing. I do apologize if you can tell that I feel like I'm rushing. That's not going to fit. Okay, let's just chop a bit off because we don't need the full width. Just go about there. We'll have to trim it down further, but this is just so it fits in my guillotine. I feel like I'm rushing because I am so late getting this done. Thank you, Kelly. Really appreciate it. I appreciate the cuddles. Okay, let's fold this top down. That's to reinforce the top of our pocket. Oops, that is far from straight. Let's try that one again. We could always turn it into a slanted pocket, if I can't get that straight, but there we go, that's better. Just going to give it a crease with my tool here just to make it sure it's nice and flat. Okay, put the guillotine down for a moment. So this way round. So let's put one gusset in. Do I want a gusset on the bottom? I didn't necessarily allow for a gusset on the bottom, but I think we can. So we're going to put a gusset on the bottom. And now we can work out, so it's just on the inside of that dark blue line. Is that the blue line I had? No, it's the next one. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. Now I know where I need to cut off, just leaving enough for the gusset. And you could measure it and do it, so it's all nice and neat and you're not folding that extra bit of paper. But I just can't be bothered measuring. Right, now, where's that? Now I'm just going to take out the corners, each of the 4 corners, with a little mitered angle. Three, and last one. When you have an idea and it's just like, oh, I just have to try that. I just have to. Well, that's where I am at today. It's just like, I've just got to try this. Yep, perfect. Right, so first off, we're going to glue down that top edge. Just with a glue stick, I think will be fine. To reinforce that top edge. Okay, and then put your side gussets under your bottom gusset, and that's going to hold that bottom gusset out a little bit so that when you put things in, you're not sliding into that edge quite so easily. Sometimes you still do, but putting that on the outside of the side gussets will help. Right, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue on the gussets. I haven't inked around it. I really should. So before I ink that bottom bit, I'll just do the top edge. This top edge here. Here we go. Hopefully that glue is still nice and wet. I might just put an extra little squirt on. Right. Oops, let's centre it because it's a little bit narrower than the tag. Not the tag. The belly band. There we go. That's good enough. That's where it's landed. That's where it will stay. So we've got one pocket so far plus the belly band itself. Okay, now for the next part, I would like something that runs down the middle. I forgot to grab lace, which is annoying. So if you've got lace, put lace on it if you would like. I'm not doing lace right now because I meant to grab it out, but you know, Kelly. So we're going to work without lace today on my one. So as I was saying, I want to run something down the center that can then form multiple holding places for fun bits and pieces. So I think I might use this text background page. I've really got to think about how I want to do this. Really have to think carefully about it. So I think we want if I go there, do I want to fold it in half? I think I'm going to fold it in half. Where's my mark gone? I can't see my mark, people. You saw me make it. Where's my mark gone? Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Why can I not see it? Oh, there it is. Oh gosh. Tricking myself, I am. Tricking myself. Right. Okay. Thinking, can you tell? Can you tell, people? Can you tell I'm thinking? Go quiet, start tapping my fingers. Right, I'm going to cut it off about there. And let's do the height so I know what I'm playing with. So I'm going to go not quite to that bottom pocket. So I'm going to choose to go about there. And let's not lose my mark this time. I've got my eyeballs glued to it. Which sounds kind of painful, doesn't it? Metaphorically speaking, shall I say. Right. So I am still debating how I'm going to achieve this. So in the meantime, I'm going to fold that there. So you want it to be narrower than your base. In fact, I could probably go a bit narrower than what I've got there. Yeah, let's go narrower. Okay. Just going to chop a little of that off. And then if we're doing it that way, then that needs to be the one on the bottom so that things slide in, don't get caught. Although this is going to be double-sided, so we're going to be sliding things in on both sides. So it's probably a bit nonsensical that I was worried about it. Okay, well, I've got a funky little idea. Yeah, why not? Why not do it? Okay, I'm going to make a little curve in this middle top section. Think thumb notch. Do I want to use a punch? But I want it to be quite shallow and wide to really go across the whole thing pretty much. It doesn't quite go quite across, so I'm going to loosely fold it for those two side folds to meet together. And then I'm going to cut a shallow bit like so. It's going to go all the way from each side. So we'll want to just dress up the back of it. If you're working with plain paper on the back, which I am, of course, if you could leave it white as well. Just need to open it out so I can kind of take that ink down far enough. Yep, that's cool, and I want to ink that top edge. This is totally not what I had envisaged, but I saw the possibility and it was like, why not? So we're going to have a little pocket at the top there as well. Now I don't want it to go all the way down. I just want it to be a little, just a little baby pocket. So what I need to do is choose where I want it to go down to. So I'm going to make it about there. Just a little pocket, and then let's glue all the way down the side and along the bottom. Now which way am I folding? On top. This one's on top, so I can go ahead and lay that one down. Whoops, got a bit of glue at the top there that we don't need. Right. Okay, and then this one we can just glue down as normal. So just along the bottom and up the side. And I might just run that same glue line along the back there just so it sticks together, and along here as well. Okay. What do you reckon, guys? Is it turning into something? Oops. We have a little bit at the top there flapping open, so we'll just glue that down where it overlaps. So we've got a nice sealed, so it's not flapping open on those back layers. Okay, let's ink around the edge, because I hope to fill this as well. I don't want to just make the belly band. I want to try making all the bits to go into the loaded belly band, because otherwise it's not really a loaded belly band. It's just like a belly band with empty areas, and that's not as much fun as if we manage to load it up with goodies. Okay, so that's going to sit there. Right, so I want to now create different spaces that we can tuck things. So we'll adhere it at the bottom and the top, and then I want to create different tuck spots or pockets, whatever you want to call them, running down the length of it. And I'm thinking maybe 4. So one on this side, one on this side, one on this side and one on the side. And I'm thinking little things. Think fussy cuts, tickets, labels, that sort of thing. Little things that you'll put in there. So we're going to go across the top, and you can make them different sizes. They don't have to be all the same size. And I'm going to run down the center on the back. Whoops, very crookedly. Very, very crookedly. And then for the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep it simple, and we're just going to go roughly in the middle. And we're going to glue that on. Like so. Okay, so that is the basis of the loaded pocket. I keep saying loaded pocket. Loaded belly band. We could put a further pocket or even a belly band on top of this multi-pocket here. I might do that, but let's see how far we get loading it, and then we can ascertain how thick it is and whether we want to pop, you know, any other thing. And I was envisaging that there would be lace here or here, which I can do off camera. You know, I'm just disappointed I forgot to grab out the lace. You know, you think you're organized, but then reality bites, and no, you're not. Right. So, little things. I am going to grab out the ephemera pack that goes with Winter Bounty. And I apologize, I still have not cut it out. And then I've also got the labels from Days Gone By Volume 3 at hand as well, in case we need that. This piece is cut out, and I'm thinking, can we pop, it's a bit long for what I've got going on. Do you want to, no, it's a bit long. Okay, that's fine. It might be a bit of trial and error here in terms of what will fit in my teeny tiny pockets. And I'm not going to back any of these because they are going to be a lot of things that people can actually take out and use. Not necessarily for writing on the back of, but that they can use in their journal to decorate their own things. You know, if they're doing an entry and they want to fill in a spot or decorate up a journal card that they're adding in themselves, that they can use the bits and pieces, which I think is rather a nice idea. Okay, that's just going to find out which one it fits in better. Okay, it's a bit wide, but just testing the depth. So it fits height-wise, fits best in this one down here. I'm not worried about it sticking out, because if we bring back our page, it's not going to interfere with anything having things stick out, and it's just going to look fun with things sticking out. So that one's going to go there. I'm going to inch as I go, just so I know, you know, what I'm doing and what's happening. And it means I won't be doing a big inking session either on or off camera. So that one's going to go there. Just a cute little image there. Okay. So I want, oh, what about one of these labels tucked somewhere? One of these blank labels. And you can put multiple things in each place. Oh, let's use the Winter Wonder. We are in autumn here. So for us, winter is very close. I appreciate that in the Northern Hemisphere, you're in a totally different season. You're saying goodbye, or have said goodbye to winter even. And you're in spring. So this may seem like it's out of season for you, but it is very appropriate here. As I said, it's drizzly, cold weather here today. It's dark. It's, yeah, I'm sitting here going, oh, it would be nice to have the fire going, but not super bad, not like, oh, I have to light the fire. It's just like, oh, it would be nice and cozy and comfy if I lit the fire. But I do have food bank this afternoon, so it's like there's no point lighting the fire when I'm headed out at midday or just after midday. And when I come back, I know, because I would have been running around and carrying boxes and all that stuff, that I would be quite warm for about 20 minutes once I get home, and then I'll get really cold because all that heat dissipates and I just feel chilled. So then I'll probably want to light the fire. Okay, so we've got a little label in there, and I don't know if these are too big. Might be a bit big. What's that like? Yeah, yep, they're going to be too big, sadly. Okay, well, won't need to cut one out then if it's going to be too big. What else have we got? This is quite a cute wee label here. Skates. I think that's going to fit somewhere. So at the moment I'm choosing based primarily on size. Now you don't have to just use digitals, you could use real tickets, stamped labels, you know, whatever you like. Tea cards, real tea cards or printed ones. Is that gonna perhaps go in there? This one at the top here. Oh, actually, here we go. Or do we want to put it this way? So we get this image of the skates popping out. And you could even angle it slightly, which is kind of fun. That one I'm going to leave straight. Okay. I know there are some tea card type things in here. So I just want to flick through and find those. They're probably a bit large, those stamps. Oops. Oh, what about something round? We could do something round. Here's some little labely bits. You could do words. We could totally put some words in there. Here's some smaller labels. Oh, here's some tickets. Okay. Right. That's probably enough to go on with for now. So let's start with tickets. I'm going to cut out the strip. And I've actually got an idea for these tickets. So let's cut them out first. Try and go as quickly as I can without creating a mess or making any big chomps where I do something that ruins it. Oops, flying tickets. I'm going to get those corners with my hole punch. So, nice, quick, easy way, in case you haven't seen that before. I'm sure you would have, unless you're very new to the junk journaling world. So when you've got tickets with, or anything with those little rounded corner cutouts, I just go in with my hole punch, my single hole punch, and chomp them out. And I don't worry if it's the same size or not. If my punch is a bit bigger than the gaps or a bit smaller, it's all fine by me. Now I will ink around this, but I don't think I'll do it on camera because I really want to get the whole thing filled up. And this will be a little bit time consuming to ink around with, you know, all the cutouts and stuff. But just imagine it inked around. Okay, last corner here. See, it's just so quick and easy doing it that way. Now what I'm thinking, I'm just going to try it size-wise in here. Oops, got a little glue seepage there. Just have to pry that. Ooh. That wasn't ideal, but we got it sorted. Managed to save the day. Accidentally glued my pocket half shut. Okay, so it's only deep enough for one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concertina them. I don't know if I'll use all of them or not. Backwards and forwards, trying to line up so they're nice and neat. And then I'll try them, and if it's too thick, then I can trim a couple off if needed. Oh, we're going to end up with a blank one on top. Oh no, we'll just flick it over and use that one. That's okay. That's okay. Just use it the other way up. Okay, so we've got, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tickets there. I'm just going to, oh, actually they're going deeper than I anticipated. Don't lose them. What if I did 2? I must have run into a glue line down there somewhere. No, 2 is too much. So we're just going to pop them in and not push them all the way down. Here we go. So we have tickets in the top. Let's do some smaller labels. I'm now looking and assessing which ones I want. So let's do this one and maybe an oval one. Right, so quickly cut these out. Concentration is real. So while it's drizzly this morning, it's supposed to actually rain this afternoon. It's just like, oh, really, do you have to rain when I'm out carrying boxes backwards and forwards across the driveway? But the reality is, it's the weather, you know, we're in the season where that's going to happen more and more. So just suck it up. You won't die getting a little wet. It'll be fine. Right, so let's, okay, give them a little ink. And this one. And let's do this nice shaped one here. Oops, that was a bit rash. I could have torn my label then, but fortunately I didn't. I'm not cutting these out particularly well because I'm rushing. It's funny, you know within yourself when you're rushing something. Sometimes you can pull it back and just relax, and sometimes you just like, part of it is I'm rushing because I'm excited. I'm like, oh, I like this idea. I want to hurry up and see what it's going to turn out like. You know, is it a good idea? Is it not? So we're going to pop a little label there as well. And how about a coloured one on top of this one? So like this blue one here. Well, Kelly seems to have settled down in the cat bed, so that's good. And I was very, very happy with Snuggles this morning. Snuggles is curled up on a blanket on the couch. And every time Kelly moved, she would look at it, but she made absolutely no moves towards Kelly. And she kind of was half blurry-eyed, you know, blinky, none of that extreme, oh, I'm going to chase you kind of look that she often gives her sister. So I'm very proud that Snuggles stayed where she was and only showed mild interest, which helped Kelly feel a little more relaxed. And, you know, that may change when I go out to the food bank. It's anybody's game at that point. But for now, it's peaceful. So maybe if we put the bigger one straight and then have the label itself. Oh, I didn't ink around that one, did I? Were you telling me? Or were you quietly going there, yay, she didn't ink around that one. Let's not tell her. I know not everybody finds inking enjoyable, either watching it or doing it. And some don't like the look. And that is perfectly fine. Nobody says that you have to ink or not ink. You do your own style. My style is typically, not 100%, but typically is inking. And yeah, so I will ink. Right, I think I need something else in this one as well. So that's a label. Have we got a little, maybe a wee fussy cut? How about an owl? The smaller owl here. It would tuck in there nicely. Going to grab out my fussy cutting scissors for this. And if you get a journal with a loaded belly band in it where everything's already inked, well then, I was going to say you're stuck with it. Because I know some people like the look of it but don't like doing it, so don't. And that is fine too. You know, we're all different. We all have different tastes, and that's what makes the world of junk journaling so exciting and fun, is that we all do things so differently, and yet we can appreciate each other's styles and how we do things, even if it's not something we would actually do ourselves. You just interpret it in your own way. It's such an awesome part of junk journaling, or any craft or art really, is that freedom to we owl peeking out from the side tuck there. So we've got a couple of things in each. I think this one could do with a third actually, because it's just a couple of wee labels. Still haven't found those tea cards. I'm sure they're in here. Am I right? Possibly not. There's definitely the stamps. Right, I need to shuffle the order. Ah, yes, here we go. I just wasn't digging deep enough, perhaps. I was sure there were some in there. So now, are the big ones too big? Yes, they are. How about this horizontal one though? Can we put it in sideways? I have to check the time too, see how we're going. Because I've still got the behind the belly band and the bottom pocket that we haven't done anything for yet. I might not get behind the belly button. Did I say belly button before? Or did I say belly band? I hope I said belly band. I might not get the large, large journal card or something done. Oh no, it is a bit big. What if we kind of, oh, it works like that. Let's do that. It's going to take a bit longer because it's bigger, and, putting something behind your belly band is normal. Whether it's a large journal card or a folded bit of paper, something like that. It's kind of more normal, isn't it, that part of things. Okay, so we've got hairiness in terms of things popping out. Right, so let's look at this pocket down here. And this is something I would back because it's going to be something we write on. That's how I envisage it. Anyway, right. So just grabbing out a bit of beetroot dyed paper. So it's got pinkness to it, which is fine. Let's just tear this in half to start with. It's only a little pocket, so we don't need a big piece. And how wide are we? We're about 2.5. So, and how tall? I want it to poke up above the centerpiece. So we're going to go about 3 by 2.5. Okay. I put it there, yeah, I'm going to take off the branding on the bottom because we can do that without making it too small. And then we'll go 3 on the height, actually a little bit more. Let's leave the notes and thoughts bit on the top there, up here. Just a moment. Nose is going with the cold. I want to trim a bit of that edge off where there's no lines, so let's take that off. And now we'll do our 2.5. So old diaries are brilliant for, you know, dyeing up. Oh, look at that fun pattern on the back. And make it, oh, now. Oh, that's given me a dilemma because I was leaving the notes and thoughts, but this side is the side with the pattern on. So I'm going to end up covering this side. That's fine. We can survive. It'll be fine. Right. So we want to cover it with this. This is the same paper that I used on the belly band base. All right, I just need to shuffle things around here because I'm getting a bit crowded. Pop my hole punch away. Right, let's just glue this on. We're not doing too bad on time. Going to try and line it up as much as I can so that I've only got 2 edges to cut. Yeah, it's kind of okay. Oops, it's not completely glued down though. Let's give it a wee press with the card. So just a little journaling card for something, you know, something small to be written on. And I think I want to give it rounded corners. Hopefully the glue's gonna not be a problem. Okay. Give this an ink around, and then we can decorate this up as well. Just do something with one of those fussy cuts maybe. Plenty to work with in Winter Bounty. Very generous sized kits as always from the Junk Journal Studio. Always so much to play with. You can never go wrong with one of the kits. They're just playtime, you know, for forever. essentially. It's like you just get so many goodies to play with, and mix and match, you know, use them mixed with other kits from the Junk Journal Studio or other people's kits. It's one of the beauties of, again, of junk journaling, is mixing and matching and using a bit of this and a bit of that and putting it all together. Right, so first off, let's double check that it fits, and it does. Awesome. I was thinking, do I want a tab on it? But if we put a tab on it, we're going to take away some of the writing space, so I don't think I'm going to. We could actually use one of the T cards. That would fit. How about this one on the end? Lovely tree. I was thinking birds, but I'm going to go with the tree. So how are you, my friend? How's your week going? I hope you are having a simply wonderful week. Yep, that's nice there. Okay, that's that. Now, do I want to layer it with anything before I commit it in place? I've got this one that's running around my desk still. No. Grab out this page of the smaller labels. Oops. Try this one. This is a smaller version of the one that we've tucked into one of the little mini pockets or tuck spots. Of course, it's a little harder to cut out when they're smaller, and I'm using my big scissors, so probably not the wisest choice, but we're going to persevere. I haven't really got anything to tell you guys at the moment. Everything seems to be pretty much ticking on as normal, whatever normal is. I often don't know what normal is these days, but yeah, everything seems to be just one foot in front of the other. Had a lovely time with hubby's parents on Sunday. And hubby came home with a whole lot of slides from his childhood and his father's work and all sorts of things. And he has to go through them. I'm going to put that there. Go through them and weed out ones that his brother wants. So ones that relate to his brother or machinery involved, because hubby's brother is a heavy machine operator. And so he particularly is interested in those ones. And so hubby's got to go through them and sort of sort them into ones for himself and ones for his brother. So that's going to keep him occupied. He started last night and he showed me one and I looked at it, and then I was just so tired that he went to show me the next one, and I was like, no, I just can't right now. I'm just too tired, and it's quite hard to look through the slide. You know, it's a handheld slide thing, and my eyes were tired, and yeah, I just couldn't. So he put it away. He was like, well, if you're not going to do this with me, I'm putting it away. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I just can't. You know, I had to recognize in myself that the only thing that would come from it is me getting grumpier and grumpier. And I'm sure hubby would not want that either. So went away to do another day when I'm not feeling so tired. You know, like the weekend. The weekend would be a much better time to do it. Because, of course, he wants to share memories and things. And I want to be able to share that with him. Right, so that's going to... Oh, I like that. That's fun. It tucks in there. We need something up here. We got time? Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Just a little bit. Now you could put something on there that is also another tuck spot or belly band. I am going to go with the birds this time. You know, you could really layer it up to the hilt. Load it up to the hilt. But we are running out of time, so I'm going to curtail any additions just because of time, and then you can let your imagination and your style really go to town with it. So if you want to take it further, go for it. Add all the bits and pieces. Might put that up a little bit. Yep, that's looking good to me. So I'm thinking maybe I'll add some words down the bottom. I made a cup of coffee to have while I recorded this video, and then Kelly came back for cuddles, and so by the time I actually started the video I had finished that cup of coffee. So I don't have a drink right now for any silly throat nonsense that might be happening. Now you could layer this up with fabric, with cheesecloth. I'm just going to use tacky glue on this. You know, anything like that that you want. You could put a bit of book page behind, a bit of sheet music, or another bit of contrasting digital. Just get creative. Have some fun. Put that in there. But I am running out of time, so I'm just doing what I need to. And it will still be cute. Even if you put less than what I'm putting on, it will still be cute. Right, I'm just flicking through looking for the words. Let's go Winter's Beauty. Do I want the black? Or do I want the blue? Or the dark? Actually, let's go Winter Wonder in the darker blue. See, I'm going to need to cut these out because they're getting chopped up and I'm going to end up losing bits or getting damaged. You know, you pull this out of a pile and it's going to get caught on something and tear and, you know, not be fun. So I really need to do some fussy cutting. It does live in a, like a page protector. But even so, you can still grab something out and it gets caught up when you've got multiple pages with bits cut out of them. So I'll only take care of them for so long before they start degrading if I don't get my acts together. Now that is slightly wider than that, but I'm okay with that as well. I'm just going to let it hang over the edges. The ink is just on this more to take away the white where I haven't been so good at cutting it out. Shows up a little bit on the blue, but probably not on camera. I'm going to pop that there, or do I want it on the pocket? No, I want it up. I want it up here. So no glue on the ends. It doesn't look straight, but it seems to be straight, but it doesn't look straight, but it's on there. It's not coming off. Okay, so we've just got this. Have we got time? We've got a little time. Let's just find something to pop on that bottom pocket. Maybe fussy cut. There's these little cuties here. Might just fit, or we could go birds. Let's go the birds. I think they'll fit a little bit better. adjust. I'm just going to cut into that border around the image by about half-ish, and that'll further reduce, whoops, right up to the image at that end of the stick. I absolutely have fallen in love with having borders around images. It just makes it so quick, a lot quicker to cut around things, and takes a lot of the pain out of like all the fiddly little bits. You don't have to cut around all the fiddly bits. You don't have to decide whether you're going to cut around them or not. You just cut around the border and it's going to just smooth out all those issues. Almost there. Oh, cute. And it ties in with the birds up here, different birds, and then we've got birds sticking out the side. We've got the owl, so it all has kind of worked out really nicely, I feel. Feels cohesive, which is part of the joy of working with a large coordinated kit, so that everything, no matter what you choose out of it, actually does work together, even without trying. Okay, and we don't need to ground them because they're already on a branch. I didn't ink them. Oh well, it's down now. There's going to be no ink around them. They're not in dirty air, they're in clean air, so we can be forgiven for bit of a stutter there, forgiven for not inking around the birdies. Okay, and then all that remains then is to glue it onto the page, glue top and bottom, and a nice big journal card to slide in behind, which we have run out of time for. I hope you really enjoy this project and are keen to give it a go. It's super fun, and really play with it. Really play with where you want to add things in, whether you want to add more pockets, more tucks, layer it up, add some gorgeous textiles if you would like, lace, fabric, cheesecloth, whatever. Even used baby wipe, you know, the beautiful grungy baby wipe, whatever you've got, and just play. Thanks for joining me, my friends. All the links for these kits will be in the description box, so do go ahead and check them out. You won't regret anything. You know, if you bought part of this set or the whole set, you just wouldn't regret it. Take care, my friends. Have a great day, and I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.